Another suggestion for adapting the notion of creativity to suit young children is to put the emphasis on the creative process, rather than to judge the quality of the products. This is because young children may not have developed all the skills they need to achieve a successful creative outcome.
Definitions of creativity are not straightforward, and many writers have contributed to the debate about what constitutes creativity, often hotly contesting different views. However, most theorists agree that the creative process involves a number of components.
Talent usually refers to the possession of a high degree of aptitude and skill in a given area, such as music or mathematics, but would not necessarily imply either a high degree of originality or an ability to demonstrate creative abilities outside the specific area.
Adults, therefore, can act as supporters and coaches, facilitators and models of creativity for children. But on the other hand, adults also have the potential to stifle opportunities for creativity by being overly didactic or prescriptive. They can limit creativity by discouraging fantasy or by having low expectations about what young children are able to achieve. A child may not choose to engage in creative thinking because she lacks self-confidence and does not believe that she has anything of value to offer. Or maybe she becomes anxious when given an open-ended task with several possible solutions. Through observation and conversation, an adult can work out what is causing the child's difficulties and encourage her to work through them. The Robinson Report argues that, while there are strong links between the expressive arts and creativity, viewing creativity as solely or mainly the province of the arts is unhelpful because it can lead to a denial of the role of creativity in other areas, such as science and mathematics.
The adoption of this complete mini-bilingual program aims to empower our varied student group. Through the incorporation of critical literacy, cultural comprehension, and language competency, our educational environment fosters a supportive atmosphere in which students can flourish intellectually, linguistically, and culturally. Teaching and learning has the opportunity to explore more deeply into a subject which enables children to be more inquisitive through questioning and personal inquiry from the theme. This is a new journey for the school and we are truly still at the start of it. Nevertheless, there is a sense of freedom to explore creativity within the classroom.
From creativity brings about imagination and innovation. Imagination is the ability to transcend the obstacles to thinking. An important distinguishing factor that is echoed by Kraft, 2002, who suggests to be imaginative, an individual must be able to elevate above obstacles or restrictions placed on them, such as set standards, criterias or rules. This enables learners the freedom and flexibility to explore more widely an idea, thought or outcome that is original to them.
cultivating a strong feeling of community within the learning environment. In addition, students encountering difficulties pertaining to language acquisition or cultural adjustment can access counseling and support services, which are widely accessible. These services aim to promote the well-being and academic achievement of these students.
Creativity is another term that people attach word meanings to, but it can be difficult to define concisely into a single definition as the depth of understanding behind it is more complex. As thought-provokingly suggests, the lens in which creativity is viewed is always evolving depending on societal or cultural changes. Therefore, answering, "What is creativity?" may reflect what is valuable or relevant in that moment in time to the people or persons. This is helpful for learners to understand so they can identify themselves as creative and imaginative beings in relation to their peers, or to simply recognize themselves as being imaginative within the creative process. Likewise, it assists educators in understanding and recognizing that imagination can be represented in ways that make sense for the learners within the developmental stage.
About 5 years ago, I began teaching at a 5-form entry primary school in East London as a Year 2 teacher with my own classroom responsibilities. Last year, I took on the role as learning leader for Year 2, and therefore I am responsible for supporting the academic development and well-being of roughly 130 children and assisting colleagues to ensure teacher standards are met to a high degree.
From an educational point of view, in the 21st century, educators are preparing students to become a contributing member in a rapidly changing society, so creativity may be viewed with an influence on the human capital approach. Worthy of highlighting, as is it Sharp, who suggests that creativity is the ability to produce an outcome of value and worth. Therefore, the outcome could be producing products or nurturing creative people, which in our current competitive capitalistic economy could be seen as an asset. To be original or to have originality is a facet of imagination that requires individuals to use their imagination to develop new ideas, thoughts or products that are original to the creator. Although, an important consideration here is, each child's creative abilities can be related to his or her personal stage of development. Therefore, it is crucial to understand that being imaginative or original may look different at different stages of learning and growth.
Family and community play a significant role in the language development processes of the children and promote the mindset for higher education processes. The family is the primary caregiver of children, shaping and nourishing the thought processes. On the other hand, the communities are the first exposed environment of the companies. The families are responsible for shaping the competence of a child to speak in the mother tongue. The primary exposures of the children are also ensured to be the same language speaking so that strategic mental growth can be supported. In the case of bilingual language and education, the families have the role of motivating the child for new learning processes. The development of a child's approach towards learning and the development of bilingual education is dependent on the scale to which the parents and the communities are influenced by language. Within the past year, my school has had a change of headship, and with this change brings the use of the Essential Skills curriculum by Chris Quigley, which covers all the national curriculum subjects with exceeding skills to develop the depth of children's learning. Currently, my school's curriculum follows a thematic approach to teaching and learning anchored with a core text connected to the theme and with subjects integrated, linking it all back together.
Paget shares similar views to Cropley in that creativity as a product or an outcome generates complications due to changing standards of a belief system, judgments that may vary culturally or societally, or the relevance of a product may not become apparent right away. Highlighting this potential barrier sheds light to Egan's statement on being imaginative within education, as a process is intended to stimulate the ability to visualize situations, events or outcomes different to those that already exist currently or in the past. If learners become too reliant on educators giving information consequently, it requires them to think less, which stunts active, critical and creative thinking.